Welcome to the Online Success Journey podcast, your opportunity to discover and learn from entrepreneurs like yourself. This is not your typical podcast, but a place where you can get the real story and find out how real people encounter speed bumps and detours, but journey through to find success. Now here's your host for the Online Success Journey podcast, Patience.
Hello everyone and welcome to Online Success Journey. This is episode 225. Are you ready to join the clan? Today we have Joy Taylor, a keynote speaker and author of Inspired 7 Wisdom of a Soul-Inspired Life. She has helped thousands of people start and grow purposeful and profitable businesses. Hello, Joy.
Hello, Patience and everyone. Super glad to be here.
Thank you for coming here. We are so happy to have you. I know the clan is anxious to hear your story. So let's get started with the basics. Can you tell my clan a little bit about your background, about what you did before you started your own business?
Well, the truth is I started my own business in my 20s. I'm kind of psychologically unemployable. And what happened was my first business was a jewelry business. And I was blessed to learn entrepreneurship from a seasoned craftswoman. And I was hooked. As soon as I understood the lifestyle of being able to set my own hours and goals and intentions, I knew that that's what I wanted to do in my life. And while I'm very artistic at heart, it wasn't my core passion. But those 2 years of developing and creating and expanding the jewelry business right outside of college got me into really a momentum of what am I passionate about that I could turn into a lifestyle that would afford me my dreams and utilize my gifts. I mean, I think really we all need to find our sweet spot. And for me, that's what am I naturally good at and what do I also have the skills and capabilities to do, and what do I love? What am I passionate about? So I started my first career, Patience, was a healer. I went to massage school in Jinshin and I studied energy work and physical therapy, and I just dove into anatomy and physiology and the science and the art of supporting people in changing their bodies and changing their minds. So I had my own healing practice for a decade. And that really was the beginning of the journey. And it evolved over years. Opportunities came my way that matched my wanting to expand, which is really a key thing I teach, right? It's like we all have this kind of code to destiny. And I talk about that in the book Inspired. We have a calling. And what evolved was really a vision that I could do more than work one-on-one with people. And anyone who's listening who's in that situation, if you're a coach, a practitioner, a consultant, and you're doing one-on-one work, and believe me, I love doing private one-on-one work, but I knew I could reach more people, and I desired to get out of the trading my time for money and see if I could be what Robert Kiyosaki would call the other quadrant, right? Where I could be a business owner and create a residual income. So I'll spare you the long story. The short story is I found I had a knack for training people in wellness. I had a knack for teaching. I started keynote speaking, representing herbal lines, talking to individuals about sales, developing curriculum. And fast forward to today, 2020, I have my own business helping coaches, consultants, trainers, probably a lot of people that are listening to the call, thrive online through online training and also really getting the education that they need to start a business, launch it smart, expand, grow the business, and go from one to one to one to many. And, that's the beauty of online. That's the beauty of what you do, Patience. It really is. And I love it. It's a journey. It's a journey of success. And it's really best taken step by step, which, that's what happened to me. It evolved this way.
Wow. Thank you. What a background. Wow.
Oh, gosh. Well, yeah. And it's, I do want to say there was a certain grace because I was just invited into representing that product line. And before I knew it, I was a spokesperson, and I was traveling around the country, and I was on stages in front of 500 people and learning how to grow in those skills and that confidence. And then that led me to some local recognition where economic development institutes and community colleges wanted me to teach entrepreneurship. And, so it wasn't like I had it planned, which also would be kind of a key point for everyone listening. It's rarely like fully planned, but I had the vision. I knew that I wanted to share my gifts, use my talents, follow my passion, and live a lifestyle that felt fulfilling and free. And so life prompted me, but I stayed in a positive framework to let those opportunities come my way. And for me, that includes prayer, and that includes intention setting. And so it includes, the willingness and the self-esteem to actually receive the opportunities when they show up.
What is the most dangerous belief an entrepreneur can have?
I'm not good enough. I don't deserve this. I think the root is I'm not good enough or I don't deserve it. And then it can look like a lot of things, but it plays out as all these blessings coming to an entrepreneur, and that individual saying, it's not for me, it couldn't be, this is too good to be true, choosing old patterns. So it's a great question, Patience. I'm so glad you start there, because at the core of it all, and I know some of your other guests have shared this, if we don't have the self-worth to feel that we deserve our dreams, we will not achieve our dreams. So there needs to be a really strong belief that I am good enough. I deserve this good. And I would just add to that, for anyone who's concerned about appearing or feeling arrogant, that your insecurity is just as egotistical as your arrogance. They both come out of a false identity, the belief that you're your personality. And so if we really just drop in and get the message that we're here to share some gifts with the world, only the gifts that are meant for us to share, then we get out of our own way. And we know, I am good enough to deliver this message, and my mission is to what? Fill in the blank, right? I'm actually doing a webinar today on how important it is to know your why. But if the mission is to support people in, and everyone on this podcast has a different mission, right? Whatever it is you're offering the world. But the more that an entrepreneur can focus on that mission and that purpose, and then just say, I'm the vehicle, I'm the vessel, I'm the instrument, and I'm good enough, and I'm going to keep growing. And so it's not a self-importance, I'm doing this for recognition mentality. It is a selfless service, I'm doing it for the world mentality. And when we get into that place, we're good enough, and then we get better, and we actually have a learner mindset. Every entrepreneur constantly needs to learn. And I'm going to ask you, Patience, because you're an entrepreneur. Is this resonating with you? Would you agree?
You are taking me on the journey with you, so I'm really listening. I'm in tune. Well, yes, thank you.
Yeah, and that mission, that's where we relax and we become a servant to the call. And, we really, once again, we focus on what we're doing for others, and we just hone our skills as we go. So there's I can do it. I'm good enough and I can do it. The danger is I'm not good enough. I don't deserve it. And I don't know how to do it. Well, I didn't know how to build an online business. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't born with that. I had to research, study, go to school, have mentors, have coaches. I mean, that's what we do. We make it up as we go along. We build the ship as we're sailing it.
Why do you do this, Joy?
This is, I'm getting chills. They're multiplying. I've developed a model, and it's a business soul growth model of how to launch and expand a business. And in the center of the model is what I call the soul of the business. And the soul of the business is the mission and the purpose, the vision, and the values or the guiding standards. So when we as entrepreneurs know why we do what we do, where we're going, and how. So the why is the mission, the where is the vision, the how are the guiding standards or the values. That's the center of a successful business, online or offline. And so I always start when I work with my clients and in my courses, making sure that they get really solid in understanding what the purpose and mission is, because that then infuses product and service development, customer journey. It infuses the client attraction and outreach and engagement. It infuses the operations and the systems and the technology and the team and the delegation, right? That soul is what directs everything. And so that's why I love offering these types of webinars. It also gives us as entrepreneurs who have ups and downs and plenty of challenges, a place to go back to. And I feel that center point of knowing what our vision is and why we're doing it and the values we hold true in our business, if we can go back there, it gives us the courage, it gives us the strength, it gives us the fortitude to then go back out and develop our products and go through, all of the ins and outs of the day-to-day of running a business.
Let's put man aside. How do you know you are successful?
Oh, I believe that success is living in alignment with your personal values. So I measure success and invite people to measure success by how they feel. Are they feeling congruent with what they hold to be most important? So traditional success, a lot of people say it's having money. People think successful, oh, you have a big audience, you have money. Well, that's true if you measure success and your matrix of success is money and revenue and how many people you serve and how many followers and subscribers you have. But let's say you measure success by lives changed, by connections made, by how you feel inside. Then if you are changing lives, making connections and feel really happy and fulfilled inside, then you're successful. And I believe that how we measure success changes throughout our lives. I have a lot of clients that have kids who just left the house. Well, 10 years ago when they were raising kids, their measure of success was being a good mom. And today they're shifting and they're like, okay, now I want to impact others. So we all have to define success for ourselves. Only we can know if we are successful. And it, to me, would be being in congruence or living in alignment with what matters most to us, and it's individual.
Yes, you touched about that individual. Do you think some people really born with a gift that they dare to be successful and others are born not to be successful? Tell us more about that.
Oh, I think we're all here to be successful, but we all have to really ask ourselves, what does that mean for me? And that, once again, that matrix or those measurements, our own scorecard of success, it's individual. So, but what I would say is, and I talk about this in the book Inspired, I call it actually taking inspired action to fulfill that which is yours to do. And I believe we all have a seed of potential inside of us, and that seed knows what it wants to become. So to be successful is living that full potential, which is going to be us doing what matters most to us using our skills and talents. But it's different for every single person. But we're all meant to be a full blossoming manifestation of whatever that seed is inside of us. Every one of us is meant to reach our potential, or we are given the opportunity to. And we see that, when people are depressed or feeling a little out of sorts, it's usually because there's a lack of nurturing that potentiality within ourselves. And I, once again, just want to reiterate that it's not like we have to figure out what we're going to do or be. We don't have to figure out our potential. It's already inside of us. So the more we nurture it and the more we moment by moment by moment make choices that actually feel good, that utilize our gifts, that are things we're passionate about. Joseph Campbell said, follow your bliss. And I do believe that when we do that in a kind, generous, compassionate way, when we do that with all others' well-being concerned, we reach our potential. Potential, success, are we all meant to have it? Yeah. Is everyone meant to be a millionaire? No. Is everyone meant to have their needs met? Yes. Is everyone meant to be happy? Yes. Is everyone meant to have great relationships? Yes. A heart that's open? Yes. Shelter? Yes. Food? Yes. I could go on that one, but thank you for asking.
Thank you for sharing. Okay. What have you learned from business as a whole?
I have learned patience. I have. I've learned that I need to learn as I go and live and learn as I live, and that I will never arrive, because when I'm in that curious mindset, as opposed to the know-it-all, when I'm curious, that's when I grow. That's when my business grows. That's when I ask for help. That's when I delegate. That's when I slow down to learn a new software so I can automate. So I would say the biggest thing I've learned is not to ever presume that I know it all, to stay super curious, to recognize where I just need to either learn something or hire someone to do it for me, and to stay in my sweet spot, which we talked about at the beginning, right? Stay in my sweet spot. Stay in your sweet spot. What are you good at? What do you love? And then know enough as a generalist. I think it's really important for business owners to know a lot about their business, but it doesn't mean they have to do or implement everything about their business. And that's actually part of the business model that I've developed, is to help entrepreneurs look at the soul of their business, then the 4 cornerstones of their business, the important elements of their business, understand it enough to really be the visionary to move the business forward. But understanding social media doesn't mean that you do all of your own social media. Understanding the little overall nuances of audio editing doesn't mean you do your own audio editing. So it's really important to delegate, automate, and be honest with yourself, and then keep learning. And that's what I've learned, and that's what I hope I'm continuing to do. And that learner mindset really is actually quite playful, to be a student of life, to be curious. It also takes off a lot of pressure. It's really okay to say, I don't know. It's always okay to say, I don't know, but let's find out. Let's find out someone who does know. Let's do some research. And then I get out of the trap of the pressure of being perfect, or thinking that I need to be an expert in more arenas than I do. And I think it's really important also, patience, because when we do that, we find our lane. And when we find our lane and we know what it is we can offer in our online businesses, it's easier to find collaborators and referral partners and affiliates who also know their lane. And so a lot of people try to do too much, and it's like, whoa, this curiosity, this getting honest with self, this being in that learner mindset. Also, a side benefit is it just helps people land in the place that's theirs, so that they can proceed and not try to do more than is really theirs to do. Find others to refer clients to. That's really, really important. And that's the world we're walking into. And I just, I love that it's global. I love that it's easy to look at us. We just met, I'm so excited to know you now. And you have such a network of people that do things I don't do. And it's exciting to see how we start connecting and referring and supporting and collaborating, because we share a mission. We want to support individuals. I think you and I, Patience, have a very similar mission. We want to support people who have really beautiful gifts to give to the world, to get them out there and to get the exposure, and to be able to, I'll speak for myself, but make the planet a better place, offer solutions.
It's powerful. Thank you. What is one thing that has contributed to your success?
So this is just what came to me. So it's kind of out there in left field, but it seems to be the truth. I meditate in the morning, and my practice is about 20 minutes. So it's not a big, giant scope of time. I started in my 20s. I met a spiritual teacher, happened to be a Jewish rabbi, and I grew up Christian, but he taught me how to meditate. And what that does for me is it stills my busy analytical mind, and it helps me enter kind of that mysterious, peaceful place of the unknown. And in that place of the unknown, some people call it the quantum field, there's infinite potential and possibility. So what I find is if I take 20 minutes a day to just shut off my mind, which is a discipline, oh my goodness, for someone like me who's inspired and has thoughts, to shut that off, or at least attempt to, and to recognize that I'm just a part of a bigger whole. That humility, that peace, that stillness, that's changed my life, and I would say has changed my business. And so that would be the one thing that's made a really monumental impact in my life. And there's more and more people teaching mindfulness and meditation online. So it's really easy to get access to and to invite in even 10 minutes or 20 minutes of quiet every morning, just to get still and bring that to the day. Really helps with stress and overwhelm too. Because we all know that entrepreneurship has plenty of triggers. And if we let the triggers take us over, we get into overwhelm and stress, and then we get into that limbic brain, and then we're just in fight and flight, and we're not creative, and we can't serve at our highest potential. Do you ask that question to all your guest patients?
I do.
Said meditation? I'm curious.
No. That's why I said the beauty of my podcast, I meet different people, and everyone is in different lanes, so everyone has their own gift and go. So everyone shares a different message. But yes, we wanted to know what works for you.
Yes,
Thank you.
Well, and what's fun is probably all your amazing listeners are like, they have different people. They're like, oh, me too, or oh, that sounds good, or I'm going to look into that. And just all of these people that you're interviewing are just giving everyone an opportunity to just get to know themselves. Because what we do is we see that which we appreciate in other people. It's a projection. It is our potential. So I want to actually address this because you asked me about, is everyone meant to be successful? And I keep talking about, well, you have a seed of potential. Here's a clue. If there's something you really admire about someone else, it's likely who you're becoming. So just thank that person, celebrate that person for showing you what it is you want to bring out in yourself, because it is likely speaking to a potential you have inside of you. And this is a cure for jealousy, by the way. So, and we as entrepreneurs, we see other people online, we think they're more successful, we wish we got the opportunities or the TEDx talk or whatever they did, or they wrote a book and blah, 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 blah. All that I'm not good enough, oh, poor me, I'm jealous. Mm-hmm. I really say stop, don't let your mind go there. Just realize that if you get excited, or even if you start with getting jealous about someone else's success, it's just indicating what you want or what you have the potential to create for yourself. So celebrate that person for showing you who you truly are.
You advise entrepreneurs to start by offering a live online program using video conferences software. Why start there, not with a pre-recorded self-study courses?
Yeah, so that whole process of going from one-to-one coaching or consulting, and even for people who are just like, I want to start teaching online. So that's really my lane. In addition to professional development and personal growth, I really love working with people to help them create their online programs. And the key to a good online program is to have a really strong framework and build rapport. And so when people start with the pre-recorded, it just loses the life. So what I love is for people, I encourage people, think of like a a multi-session online video program that you can offer live. And here's why. Most of the time, your audience, your people, your participants prefer it. And they prefer it because it has more juice. They actually could meet people. If you're a good trainer, you engage them. And there's accountability built in. They're going to show up. You know, the trends in online marketing, and maybe we'll talk more about that later, but it's not self-study. I mean, people can go to YouTube and watch videos, but when it comes to online courses, people like the accountability and the community that can be built by going online. The other reason I recommend it, which is more for the trainer, more for the people listening to this podcast, is it allows you as the trainer to practice, to refine materials, to refine your framework, to get feedback from your audience. It actually is a big commitment. Once you pre-sell or sell a program, you have to deliver it. You know, if you're doing a video, you can say, I don't feel like it today. And you can procrastinate. But if you have to show up at noon, you've got 20 people or 5 people or whatever you got live on video with you, you have to show up. And so it builds accountability. And that's really important for a trainer. And it also can be a little less technology depending on how you decide to, you know, add the bells and whistles to your online training. But it's simple. And it's really, I also recommend people start with a small audience. So work with people who you already know and work with you. Have like 5 to 6 people in your first class. You can even call it a pilot or a beta program. It could be valued at $297 and you're going to offer it for $97 the first time you deliver it. And in exchange, the people who attend it can give you feedback. See, then you're refining your material. People are showing up, they like it. You're showing up, you like that. You're refining your material. Awesome. Then you're more likely ready after 2 or 3 runs of the live. You are more likely ready to turn that into a self-study automated digital product that's going to really, you know, hit the ball out of the ballpark because you've got a home run, because you know it now. And you know from your customer responses, your participant responses, how to make the message land and be useful to them.
What mistakes do you see these online trending learning then?
Okay, yeah, the trends. Well, one of them is live more than video self-study. People are, you know, that was kind of like a decade ago. You know,
you are trying to move them in the 21st century.
Yeah, you know, it's like buy this and then we're going to drip the content and you're responsible to just do it. And maybe there's a discussion board, but you're on your own. I'm not saying you can't do that because actually people still do appreciate the self-study and it's available 24/7. But what's really trending, like I said, is doing these live video conferences that are engaging, that are more intimate, that build community. They might cost more than the self-study program, but also your participants tend to get more out of it. And the good news about that trend is you can record the lives, and for people who miss them, participants who miss them, they can watch the replay. So there's still that access 24/7. But the other trend is micro learning. So in the past, people would sit and watch an hour-long video or you know, even 2 hours. And when it does come to online learning, especially you can do it live, you can do it pre-recorded. I break up my teaching into modules. So today, the soul, the why, the how, and the where, the mission, vision, values that I'm offering today, it's an hour and a half, but it's broken into 3 30-minute sections. So there's like, all right, we finished part 1. We're moving to part 2. There's like a micro learning opportunity there. And then for people who are recording bits of knowledge, people love to like sit down for 20 minutes and learn something. But the longer sessions, you know, we're trending towards micro learning. That's really the most important point. Gamification is a trend, which really can be as simple as people getting like stars for completing something online. Gamification can also be like that interaction activity that's involved in online learning. Social learning and mentorship is trending. So in facilitating or being the leader of an online course, I know for myself, I am the expert in my arena. So I very much hold the place of the trainer. But I also have other programs, inspired action groups, where I'm a facilitator and I bring together business owners to share their expertise with each other. So we're pulling forth the resources of the people participating. So a big trend is like individuals coming together for social learning or, shared masterminds. And for people who are starting out in online success, it could be a really nice way to start. So you're not the one who has to teach all the material. You're teaching and facilitating learning in the group setting. The other kind of important trend I would say for online learning is to promise a result. So if you have a course and people are coming to learn something, what are they going to get at the end of it? And so, an example would be, I'll just use my Lead Online Programs, which is a 6-week video conference live program where people learn and practice how to teach online, every aspect of it from preparation to delivery to engagement. The result is at the end, they have designed a class that they're going to launch. They have the curriculum, they have the marketing copy, they have the skills, and they're ready to launch it. And they have a built-in group of accountability, everyone else in the program, to announce the date that they're launching their course. So the trend that I'm relaying here is that there is a result. So if you're listening and you're thinking about your course, and it can be in personal development, it could be fitness, health, where are people going to be at the end of it? Are they going to have a personal value spectrum that they can apply to life? Are they going to have a fitness plan? Are they going to lose weight? Are they going to increase their revenue? Are they going to have a new financial model? Or what are they going to have at the end of it? What are they going to walk away with? What's the result? Not just what are the learning outcomes. The old school was, here's your learning outcomes. The new school is, at the end of this class, you will have something to move forward with.
Let's talk about your business, a soul-inspired life. Tell us more about that.
It is a soul-inspired life and a soul-inspired business. And my niche, my lane is I primarily work with people in the transformation space. So I really love to work with entrepreneurs who are offering a solution to make this a better planet. And many of my clients are in the personal development realm or business development realm. One of my clients, for example, is helping small businesses bring in social responsibility and environmental responsibility to their business. Another one is a hypnotherapist, So I work with individuals that are transformational leaders, and I help them in an overarching, how to really grow and scale your business. I'm a generalist. I've been teaching business development for many years now. And then specifically, I do these courses that help people teach on video conference online classes with confidence and ease. So a soul-inspired life, that's what we do. And I would say that what makes my company a little bit unique is I'm really clear that you can't grow your business if you are stuck individually. And so we spend some time in my private work and in my courses breaking through those core beliefs that hold people back. And until those shift, the rest of that business growth wheel cannot change. It is core, it is important, and it is where the real magic starts unfolding. Because once we get into that feeling of, I can do this, I'm worth it, I've got a mission, nothing's going to stop me, the how, we find our way, we find our skills, we find our way.
Where can we find your program and how can we connect with you?
Yeah, a soulinspiredlife.com. And I do have 2 chapters of my book there. The first introduction of the book is what is a soul-inspired life. There's stories of entrepreneurship and living your purpose. And then the other chapter that's in that offering is all about utilizing intuition at work. And so that's the free gift at A Soul Inspired Life. And then there's a program tab, and Lead Online Programs is a really great place to start for your audience. Or the Soul Inspired Marketing Program that I offer is also a really good basic course to relook at client attraction from a new lens.
So,
Yeah.
Clan, there will be more from Joy in a moment. If you are listening on one of the many podcasting platforms rather than my website and you are encouraged by Joy's journey, go to Online Success Journey for a bonus portion of the interview. The Online Success Journey is a wonderful membership community built for people searching for the path to success. We are one big clan and can be part of this community for free. Once you have joined the clan, click on part 2 of Joy's journey or over 200 plus other journeys that are available and learn how you can find the right path for your own online success journey. That's a wrap, clan. Remember, success is a journey, patience and joy.
This is not the end of the journey. We hope you've enjoyed listening to part 1 and want to be sure you know there is a second part to this and every journey podcast at onlinesuccessjourney.com, filled with even more success tips, uplifting stories, and even a bit of fun. There are dozens of episodes only available to the members of the Online Success Journey clan. Check out the website and click on Join the Clan for more information. Patience would like to thank you for listening to this podcast, and she has a free audio gift for you at her website. Go to onlinesuccessjourney.com for instant access to this gift. Of course, you know that listening to the journeys of others helps each of us chart our own path. So make sure you're subscribed to be notified as each new interview is posted. There are so many ways to stay connected to the Online Success Journey and to listen in. And if you're enjoying the podcast, we appreciate your help in telling others. One of the best ways to share the benefit you get is to rate and review it at Stitcher and other sites by clicking the stars or completing the ratings form, by clicking thumbs up and leaving a comment on YouTube, or liking and sharing the podcast on social media. To review the podcast within iTunes, simply open iTunes to the podcast, click on Ratings and Reviews, then write a review. On behalf of Patience, and until next time, thanks once more for listening. It is our hope that this podcast will guide you on your own online success journey.